guys, welcome back to another episode of the Empower Her Talk Show. I am your host, Coach Salita. I hope you guys have had a wonderful week. It's not over with because we have one more day. Don't forget, Saturday is the first day of summer. Yes, 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 yes. Happy for that. Happy for that. You guys, we did an excellent job with the book Path to Greatness, Strategies for Women Who Want to Make Their Mark in This World. That was an excellent book. Yes, yes. Not saying that because it was me, but because it's so many good things in it came out of that book. So now we're going to go on to the next book. You're doing all your books. Yes, 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 because I know there's other opportunities, there's other ways that we can learn things, okay? And what better way than to go through my books? What better way to go through my library, okay, of the books that I love? And we're gonna add more books on here because there's other books that I have, not only just the ones I've written, but also some that I've actually have in my library. And I think I showed you guys that over here on my library, my Audible books. You can listen to some of those. I want to go through those with you guys, and some of the books we can just read in a Kindle. But there's so much information out there that we definitely can use in this whole journey of being a woman, of dealing with so many different things. So we have plenty of books for that. So definitely want to share some of my books with you guys. So this is just basically from here on out, we're going to talk books. We're going to talk a lot about different books. So this next book coming up is The Spiritual Sisterhood. It's the only thing I could put it in the caption, but there's more to that title. Nurturing Intuition in the Young Women of Color is the rest of that title, because the title was too long and I couldn't put it in there. I don't know what I get off with all these titles being so long, because let me tell you something. My new book that's on Amazon came out yesterday. It's a long title. It's called He Wants to Be Called King by Any Means Necessary, The Chaos and Disruption of the American Dream. Right? It's out on Amazon now. But yeah, I don't know what it is with these long titles for me. I don't know. I try to shorten them, but it's what's in my head and that's what comes out. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started with this. I'm going to actually have it on the screen. Just give me a second, please. You guys, I literally, boy, you look, if you can, I want you guys to do me a favor, all you women out there who are watching this show. First and foremost, I didn't do something that I should have done from the get-go. I want to thank AOC. Okay, usually I don't just start yammering. I usually do my thank yous up front. Thank you, AOC, for this opportunity. Thank you, LUS. Thank you for the 6 surrounding parishes. Thanks, Cox Cable, for this opportunity to be on AOC. You guys check out AOC.org. You can go through there and find get the app, download the app, and you can go through and look at the scheduled shows that come on. Good information, good stuff out there. People's doing the work. Just got to get you guys to check it out. But thank you guys very much for this opportunity. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm just excited. I'm just excited to do this. So let's go ahead. Let me see here. Okay. Okay. So the name of this book, and I guess, it's important to know why I did this. Again, these are ebooks. If you're interested in getting a copy of one of these, definitely hit me up. We'll work out something we can get the book out. I'm sorry I cannot give these books away for free. I could, to a certain extent, but I'm an author. I'm just saying. The Spiritual Sisterhood, Nurturing Intuition in Young Women of Color. Nurturing them, getting them prepared. Because a lot of people have different gifts. And I know spiritual gifts, and they don't realize they have them because there's no one to nurture them and show them. They know they don't feel the same. They don't do things the same. They need someone to tell them, or they need someone to guide them. I don't want to say tell them, but guide them in the direction of why it's so important that they need to know all this information, right? So we're going to do that. We're going to go through this book, and we're going to share the information that is in this book. Okay, so first of all, I didn't do a table of contents. Don't know why I didn't, but I just didn't on this one. So we're going to start out with chapter 1, understanding intuition. What is intuition? What is the nature of intuition? So it's basically saying that intuition is often described as a deep instinctual understanding that transcends rational thought. It says it is an innate ability that many women, particularly women of color, possess. Intuition is not merely a gut feeling, because that's what we always been told. The intuition is just a gut feeling, but it's not. Or my husband said they used to call it mother wit. It is a complex interplay of emotions, experiences, and subconscious knowledge. This inner wisdom can guide decisions, illuminate paths, and provide clarity amidst confusion. Understanding the nature of intuition can empower young women to trust their instincts and embrace this powerful aspect of their identity. How important is that? That is very important. So it says at its core, intuition operates on an unconscious level. So it's not conscious. You don't see it. Most of the time, we say it's a gut feeling because we feel that something's not right or something is right. We just, we don't know how to pinpoint it. It draws from a reservoir of personal experiences, cultural heritage, and ancestral knowledge. Women of color often carry a unique tapestry of histories and narratives that enrich their intuitive abilities. This cultural richness can serve as a foundation for deeper insights, as it allows individuals to connect with their roots and understand their place in the world. See that key right there, right? Recognizing the value of this background can enhance the clarity and strength of intuitive insights. Intuition also plays a significant role in an emotional intelligence. Women, especially those from marginalized communities, often develop heightened sensitivity to their surroundings and the emotions of others. This sensitivity can manifest as an intuitive awareness that helps navigate social dynamics, fostering a sense of community and connection. By nurturing this emotional intelligence, young women can enhance their intuitive skills, leading to a more profound interpersonal relationships and a greater understanding of themselves and others. Because it's so important that we understand where we come from, which sometimes that's hard because we don't have the right people telling us. Okay, we just don't. We don't have the right people instructing us, and that can be definitely a problem in some situations. Okay. Moreover, it says intuition serves as a protective mechanism. In a world that often challenges women of color, intuition can act as internal compass, guiding them away from harmful situations and towards opportunities that resonate with their true selves. Learning to trust and cultivate this inner voice is crucial, as it can provide reassurance in times of uncertainty. By embracing their intuition, young women can reclaim their power and forge their paths with confidence and clarity. Knowing where you stand on anything that goes on in your life is such a great position to be in. Okay. Ultimately, the nature of intuition is a multifaceted phenomenon that intertwines with identity, culture, and emotional intelligence. For young women of color, embracing and nurturing this this innate ability is essential for personal growth and empowerment. By recognizing the importance of their intuitive insights, they can cultivate a deeper connection to themselves and their communities, leading to a more fulfilling and authentic life journey. Understanding and valuing intuition is not just about personal development, it's a vital step towards collective healing and the empowerment within their communities. So, yes, all of this wrapped up in one is so important on how we position ourselves in our community. Not to say you always want to be a leader, but you want to make sure that the things that you're doing and the way that you're being guided to do them is what you want. Okay. So, the importance of intuition in daily life. Wow. Intuition plays a vital role in the daily lives of young women of color, serving as a guiding force that can enhance decision making and fostering personal growth, often described as a gut feeling or an inner voice. Intuition is a natural ability that can be cultivated and trusted. By tapping into this innate wisdom, women can navigate the complexities of life with greater confidence and clarity. Recognizing the significance of intuition allows individuals to embrace their unique perspectives and experiences, empowering them to make choices that resonate with their true selves. In today's fast paced world, the ability to listen to one's intuition is more important than ever. Young women often face numerous pressures from society, peers, and family, which can lead to a confusion and self doubt. By honing their intuitive abilities, they can develop a deeper understanding of their desires and aspirations. This self-awareness is not only facilitates better decision making, but also encourages a stronger sense of identity. Trusting one's intuition can help young women break free from the societal expectations and confidently pursue paths that align with their values and dreams. And sometimes we get caught up in this crazy world of trying to always be there for other people. Um, we we're validated through other people, right? We become people pleasers, and then we forget who we are. And then you know what? It's much more easier to hide your true self, so the authenticity doesn't come out. So people don't realize they're dealing with a fake person. You understand what I'm saying? So furthermore, okay, I'm sorry for that. Furthermore, intuition is an essential tool for emotional and spiritual well being. Engaging in one's intuitive self can lead to greater emotional intelligence, enabling women to navigate relationships and social situations with sensitivity and insight. By cultivating this skill, young women of color can enhance their ability to empathize with others while maintaining a strong sense of self. This balance is crucial in fostering healthy relationships, and it allows individuals to connect deeply with others while honoring their own needs and boundaries. Wow, I like that. The process of nurturing intuition also encourages mindfulness and self reflection, which are very two things that I very much so encourage everyone to do, right? When young women take the time to pause, breathe, and tune into their inner thoughts and feelings, they create space for clarity and understanding. This practice not only strengthens their intuitive abilities, but also promotes resilience in the face of challenges. By learning to trust their instincts, women can approach obstacles with a sense of calm and assurance, transforming potential setbacks into opportunities for growth and learning. Ultimately, embracing and nurturing intuition paves the way of empowerment and self discovery. Young women of color possess a wealth of unique experiences and perspectives that can enrich their intuitive development. By fostering this connection to their inner wisdom, they can cultivate a sense of agency that enables them to navigate their lives with authenticity and purpose. As they learn to trust themselves and their instincts, they become powerful agents of change in their own lives and in the communities they inhabit. So once we find ourselves, once young women find themselves, not us, but them, because we're talking about young women, young African American women or women of color. Once they feel where they belong and they're not out here trying to convince everybody else who they are, and they are comfortable and believing in themselves, they do stand out from all the other young ladies. Okay, they do stand out from all people who are their age, right? because now they are very in tune to themselves. They know what they want, they know what they see, they know what they want to do. So when they have all those things in place, that everything else doesn't matter. Okay, all the drama, all the craziness doesn't matter because now they found their place. Cultural perspectives on intuition. Cultural perspectives on intuition reveal a rich tapestry of beliefs and practices that shape how young women of color understand and harness their intuitive abilities. Different cultures around the world place varying degrees of importance on intuition, often integrating it into their spiritual practices, yes, decision making process, and everyday life. For many indigenous cultures, intuition is seen as a vital connection to ancestral wisdom and the natural world. This perspective encourages young women to trust their instincts, viewing intuition as a form of guidance that transcends the rational mind. So that is so very much so true. But it says, in contrast, some Western cultures have historically marginalized intuition in favor of logic and empirical evidence. This dismissal can leave young women feeling disconnected from their intuitive abilities, often leading them to second guess their instincts. However, there is a growing movement to reclaim intuition as a valid and powerful source of knowledge. This shift is particularly significant for women of color who often navigate multiple cultural identities and may find strength in embracing a more holistic approach to intuition that honors both ancestral wisdom and the contemporary insights. Yes, very, very important. Oops. Okay. You guys, I'm drinking a lot of water because I feel like I have to. No, just kidding. I'm sorry. No, it's just that it's like I'm thirsty. I cannot stop drinking. And you guys, I have literally 3 fans on me. That's how hot I am. Yeah. Whew. So it says here many African and Afro Caribbean traditions celebrate intuition as a sacred gift, deeply embedded in spiritual practices. Women in these cultures are often encouraged to develop their intuitive skills through ritual storytelling and communal gatherings. These practices not only foster individual intuition, but also strengthen community bonds, as sharing intuitive insights can lead to collective healing and empowerment. Recognizing the importance of these cultural practices can inspire young women of color to explore their intuitive gifts in ways that resonate with their heritage. So not only is this is not only a mental, emotional thing, it's also a cultural thing. How important, how do we sit with our ancestors? How do we sit with our traditions, our rituals? How do our intuition, how do we make it where it is that thing, that spotlight? Okay. So in Asian cultures, intuition often intertwines with concepts such as chi and q. I think that's how you say it, Kwa, which represents the life force that flows through all beings. Practices like meditation, yoga, and Tai Chi emphasizes tuning into this energy, fostering a deep sense of awareness and connection to one's inner self. Young women of color navigating these traditions lead can find empowerment in understanding how their intuition is linked to their physical and spiritual well-being. Embracing these practices can cultivate a sense of balance and harmony, enhancing their intuitive development. Ultimately, nurturing intuition among young people, women of color, requires an appreciation of diverse cultural perspectives that shape their understanding of the innate ability. By recognizing and valuing these influences, they can empower themselves to trust their instincts and embrace their unique intuitive gifts. Oh, wow. This journey is not only honors their individual identities, but also strengthens the collective sisterhood, creating a supportive environment where intuition is celebrated as a vital aspect of personal and spiritual growth. Wow. So now we're going to get into talking about spiritual sisterhood because, sometimes people think you have to physically be in the same spot as other people. but really you don't. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to this young lady who started this movement called We Do Not Care. Now, this movement started with her just talking about how she's feeling. She's dealing with perimenopause and menopause. Perimenopause is what I think she's dealing with. And she goes through this whole thing. So she's at the point where she's saying she don't care anymore. So not to care in a way that she's going to commit suicide or anything like that, but it's the things that we get so caught up on, she doesn't care about them anymore. So she has a list that she definitely goes through every time, when she comes on. And then she encourages you to put what you don't care about in the comment section. This lady, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and she's on TikTok, she has over 1 million people following her. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's over 1 million people. It went across the ocean. That's how impactful her We Do Not Care movement has. That right there, you can't mess with that. You can't mess with that if you wanted to. And I thought that was so awesome. We do not care. And the list of things that we do not care about. Matter of fact, she was someone, Whoopi Goldberg, okay, they actually mentioned her on, they had a video, one of her videos, and they actually had her on The View. That's how powerful she was with something simple, calling We Do Not Care. One of them, she says, we do not care if our house is clean or not. Do not come over. Like, it's just so crazy. It's like, and it's the simplest thing. She said, we do not care about the back of our head. That's not our problem. That's the person who's behind us problem. So it's like, it took it to a whole nother level. And I'm saying this because we're getting ready to go into the chapter about sisterhood. How just the simple words have spread so quick and so awesome across nations. Okay? Across nations. Just that little bit. Something simple. And when I talked about the fans that are going right now, 3 of them are going, is because I'm at that point. I don't mind to say I have perimenopause. I do. And luckily, I don't have my other air on because it's so loud. So I didn't want it to disturb what I'm doing here. So yeah, I get it. I get it 100%. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find her. And I just think it's just like, it is funny, funny, funny. Let me see if I can find her. You guys, you'll hear my husband laughing. Let's see. Oh, let's see who I'm following. Um, um, I'm sorry, I'm taking my time, but I want to find it. I have many of them that I'm following. Yeah, I have no idea. I think I follow over 7 people. Maybe if I can't find it this time when we come back, I will definitely bring it to you. Um, let's see. But the reason why it's so I love it is because um, let's see. If I can't find it right off the bat right now, I'll just have to come back to it because it's not in alphabetical order. So I'll just have to show it to you guys again. But yeah, let's go back over here. Okay. Um, but yeah, she basically took 4 words and turned it into a movement. We do not care. 4 words, right? So anyway, so I wanted to kind of tell you about that. So just imagine the power we could have if that one young lady did that. How powerful we are. Okay. Defining sisterhood among women of color. Sisterhood among women of color is multifaceted concept that encompasses, shared experiences, culture ties, and emotional support. At its core, sisterhood is about recognizing unique challenges faced by women of color, including systemic oppression, cultural dislocation, and identity struggles. This connection fosters a sense of belonging and understanding, allowing women to navigate their paths with collective strength. By defining sisterhood in this context, we eliminate, illuminate the ways in which women of color can uplift one another, sharing wisdom and intuition that stems from their lived experiences. Central to the definition is the ideal of mutual empowerment. Sisterhood encourages women to celebrate their differences while also acknowledging their commonalities. For many women of color, the journey towards self acceptance and empowerment is often hindered by suicidal, societal, stereotypes and expectations. The supportive sisterhood provides a safe space to confront these challenges together, offering validation and encouragement. It is through these supportive networks that women can harness their intuitive ability, right? And drawing from a collective well of knowledge and spiritual insight. So it's very good to make sure that the people that you're around, you're learning from them. And I'm not talking about anything negative, I'm talking about positive things. Furthermore, sisterhood among women of color often emphasize that importance of cultural heritage and tradition. Many women find strength in their roots, and the connection can enhance their intuitive practices by sharing rituals, stories, and ancestral wisdom. Women of color can deepen their understanding in themselves and their people, and their place in the world. This cultural exchange nurtures both individual and collective intuition, reminding women that they are part of a larger legacy that transcends generation. So when we understand how vast just us by ourselves and we connect with other people like us, what we do, how powerful that is, right? Understanding that is so, so, so important. Let me see something here. Let's talk about building supportive relationships. So, building supportive relationships is crucial for young women of color who are exploring their intuition and psychic development. These relationships provide nurturing environment and individuals can share experiences, challenges, and insights. Creating a network of support not only enhances personal growth, but also fosters a sense of belonging and empowerment. By surrounding themselves with these like-minded individuals, women can deepen their understanding of their intuitive abilities and cultivate their spiritual journey, right? One effective way to build supportive relationship is through community engagement. Young women can seek out local or online groups that focus on intuition and spiritual growth. These communities offer a safe space for sharing experiences and learning from one another. Participating in workshops, circles, and discussion forums can help women connect with peers who share similar interests and challenges. It is within these spaces these individuals can find encouragement, validation, and inspiration, essential components in the journey of developing your intuition. So, understanding what's going on around you and how important it is to have a support system who also understands what you're going through is so well needed. And I like the ideal of having sister circles and everybody sitting around. I know for sure, like, I'm gonna say something personal. So when I used to go to my mental therapy groups, right? Um, there was a commonality in that room. The commonality, we all had issues. That was a commonality, but we all handled them differently. And I had a habit of doing something that I almost regret, but they kept telling me, no, don't regret it. I had a habit of reading people in that room. I would listen to what they were saying to our mental health provider, and I was able to break it down. And I don't know how I did it, but I was always able to break it down what they were trying to say. And I did it simply through questions, just asking them questions. And I'm sitting there analyzing them, which was not my place, but it was just something out of habit. So I would always first ask my provider, because she's over the group, and she was like, "Yeah, go ahead, do it." So I'm literally sitting there, oh gosh, putting things together from the problems that people were talking about. Don't know why, don't know how, but I used to do that. Now, one thing about doing that, most of the time people agree with me, but people who fight what the real answer is, they will always say, no, that's not it. When I know I could be wrong, because I always say that first. I could be wrong, but this is what I'm getting out of what you're saying. And then I ask them to repeat to me what they said so they can understand it. Because, see, me saying it, I might be on a different level of understanding for that person. So I want them to say it to me out loud. And then I say, "Do you ever thought da 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 da? You ever thought this could be da 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 da?" So I'm able to do that by the information that they give out and by the way that they're looking them or going into how they're actually deciphering what they're saying. Because lots of times we say and we're not deciphering. I I I see that as an intuition to it. I see that. But at the time when I was doing it, I felt like I was being cocky and I was taking over. But I wasn't. I was actually helping someone. And the best part about that, they said I was helping. That's the crazy part about it. That I was actually helping. So I was not trying to take away from the mental health provider. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist. I am not a therapist. I am not a counselor. I'm a coach. But I have been able to do that to a lot of people. And I'm not saying I'm right all the time, because lots of times I could be wrong with what my interpretation of what you're saying to me. It could be wrong, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it also have another side to it where, yeah, you know what, you're right about that. I never thought about that. I've had that many times, people saying that to me after we've had that discussion about what's wrong. Yeah. So please keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when it comes to um you making those decisions, okay? Or when you feel like, because you could be doing the same thing, but no one is ever giving you that chance to be in a group and talk to people like that. You don't even necessarily have to be in therapy doing it. You could be having a conversation and ask the question. You know, it's not hard to do. Trust and vulnerability are foundational elements in building supportive relationship. Young women of color often face unique challenges, and sharing these experiences with trusted friends or mentors can be liberating. That's right. And that's what, when they say to me, I thank you for saying that or telling me that or finding that out, because I never thought about it like that. Listening to them say that, that's right there lets you know that it was important, that they needed that they needed another way of clarity. Okay. That there had to be another way to find clarity in something that they were doing. Okay. And they felt like they were wrong or they felt like they were out of place for doing it. Okay. And the way they think it made them feel, right? Okay. I'm back. I'm sorry. I had to get something in there. So, mentorship also plays a vital role in building supportive relationship. Finding a mentor, which we talked about in the other book, because we know a mentor is very, very important. Finding a mentor who has experience in intuition and psychic development can provide guidance and wisdom. A mentor can offer valuable insight, share resources, and help navigate the complexities of spiritual practices, right? Additional mentorship fosters a two-way relationship where both the mentor and mentee can learn from each other, which we talked about in the other book. Yes, this exchange of knowledge and experience can deepen the understanding of spiritual concepts and strengthens the bond between individuals. Well, so we do understand how important mentorship is in any relationship, right? We know that they both play a role and they're there for each other. So it's not just one person, it's other people involved. I mean, it's not just one way, it's both ways. Like if I'm your mentor, okay, I'm gonna learn something from you just as much as you learn something from me, right? Trust and vulnerability are foundational elements in building supportive relationships. Young women of color often face unique challenges, and sharing these experiences with trusted friends or mentors can be liberating, right? Creating an atmosphere of openness allows individuals to express their fears, doubts, and triumphs without judgment. This level of vulnerability enhances connections and promotes emotional healing. As women support each other in their journeys, they cultivate a sense of solidarity that reinforces their shared experiences and aspirations. Um, I just thought about something that we probably don't do. I mean, an exercise that we can do. If you have a mentor, right? I think having a mentor journal for both the mentee and the mentor is awesome. I think in that journal, you should be able to write what you learned from your mentor, and the mentor should write in that journal what they learned from their mentee, and then share that information with each other. I think that's a great idea. Let me write that down. Y'all making me write down stuff. A mentor, and mentee journal. Yeah, great idea. Finally, it's essential to practice reciprocity in supportive relationships. Nurturing connection requires effort from all parties involved. Young women should not only seek support, but also offer it to others. That's right. By being present, listening actively, and in providing encouragement, they contribute to a cycle of support that strengthens the entire community. Building supportive relationships is not just about receiving, it is a mutual exchange that enriches the lives of all involved and creates a powerful network of empowered women who uplift one another in their spiritual journey. And I think that is an excellent idea. Yes, being able to give and take, talking to people. Um, some of the people that I have coached have been able to say that to me. And I've always been able to, you know what, I never thought about it like that. I can say that in a heartbeat, because then that tells me that I'm receiving what they're saying, and I'm understanding that, hey, that never came across to me like that. And I do that all the time because I want them to feel like this is not all about a one-way street. This is about us learning each other, working together. You're saying something that I never thought about. I'm saying something that you never thought about. So yes, that's very much so important to do that. Let's see here. Okay. So the next one is exploring cultural identity. Let's see here. Let me see if we want to, I want to dig into this one. Because I don't want to sit here and read everything to you. I want to, because like I said, if you want a copy of this book, let me know. And I will definitely, we can work something out. It's nothing about working something out. Purchase the book and we can go from there. Just put it to you like that. Let's see here. Let's see here. Okay. Um, let's talk about nurturing our intuition. So chapter 4 is basically talking about daily practices to enhance our intuition. So let's get into that. Now that we know how important intuition is, we know how we need to connect with people who can recognize our psychic abilities, because that's what it's talking about. Also talking about our spiritual growth in the process, right? So daily practice enhance intuition are essential for young women of color who seek to deepen their connection with their inner selves. Intuition is often described as the inner voice or gut feeling that guides us in decision making and understanding our surroundings. So, by incorporating specific rituals and activities into your daily routine, you create a nurturing environment for your intuitive abilities to flourish because you have to have a place for it to grow. It's like a plant. You got to have water, you have a pot, you have to have dirt to allow it to grow, right? So, this is what we're talking about. Um, by incorporating specific rituals and activities into your daily routine, you can create a nurturing environment for your activities, activities into your daily routine. You can create a nurturing environment for your intuitive abilities to flourish. These practices not only strengthen your intuition, but also promote self awareness and personal growth. So, one effective practice is to cultivate mindfulness through meditation. Setting aside time each day to sit in stillness helps clear the mind of distractions and allows you to tune into your inner thoughts and feelings. This can be as simple as focusing on your breath for a few minutes or engaging in guided meditation that encourage intuitive insights. As you develop a consistent meditation practice, you may find that your ability to listen to your intuition sharpens, enabling you to recognize subtle messaging feelings that arise from within. And you guys, let me tell you something. It works. We pray. I don't know if we pray for clarity, do we pray for whatever you pray for. Meditation also helps. Meditation, I will meditate in a heart. I will take my deep breaths, and I will stop everything I'm doing, and I will meditate because it will bring you down when you're going through something, and it will clarify you. Now, sometimes when your mind is busy, there's a lot of things going on, it's hard to meditate. But you got to let everything flow. You got to let everything happen the way it needs to happen in your mind. It'll eventually calm down. Okay? It will. It'll eventually calm down. Journaling is another powerful tool for enhancing intuition. By writing down your thoughts, feelings, and experiences, you create a space for your self reflection and exploration. Now, I tell you guys all the time about how important it is to journal, right? I could buy a big, expensive, beautiful journal and journal my behind on. But why do that when I can use a regular $1.79 notebook and put everything in it that I need in it? Okay? And we'll talk about journaling. We can share some things when it comes to journaling. Okay? Y'all can't read it. You guys can't read what it says, right? But this is journal. I also do my readings in here too. For me, this is not for anybody else. But my personal readings I do in here too. So yeah, there's no excuse for us not to be journaling, right? It says consider dedicating a few minutes each day to journal about your dreams or intuitive hits or any signs you may notice throughout the day. Over time, this practice will help you identify patterns and themes in your intuitive experiences, make it easier to trust your instincts and recognize when your intuition is guiding you. Another thing we can do is connecting with nature, grounding yourself. You hear people talk about grounding. Grounding. Okay. Um, it's crucial in nurturing intuition. Spending time outdoors, whether it's in a park, garden, or a natural landscape, allows you to ground yourself and reconnect with the earth's energy because it's so important. This is where we come from. We came from the earth. Nature offers a peaceful backdrop for reflection and can serve as a source of inspiration. Take walks, observe, and changing seasons, or simply sit in silence, listen to the sounds around you, which is a beautiful thing to do. Sometimes I'll go on my front porch, believe it or not, I'll go on my front porch and I'll just sit there. And it's like a different vibe, really. It is. Wonderful feeling. Y'all, in our busy world, our busy lives, just take 5 minutes out the day to go outside. If you're locked up inside, when I say locked up, I mean you're in your offices or you're at home, walk outside, go on your patio for just a moment. Okay. Take a deep breath, take 5 deep breaths, let them all out slowly, and then come back in. These moments in nature can heighten your sensitivity to intuitive messages and deepen your connection to the world. Lastly, surrounding yourself with supportive communities can significantly enhance your intuitive journey. Okay, engaging with other women of color who are encouragement, who are also exploring their intuitive abilities, provide a sense of belonging and encouragement. Attend workshops. We talked about that also. Attend workshops, join discussion groups, or participate in online forums where you can share experiences and learn from one another. Building connections with like-minded individuals can fosters an environment of support and empowerment, making it easy to embrace and trust your intuition as you navigate your path. And that's sometimes that's hard to do and sometimes it's easy to do. It depends on what you're doing and what is your interest and what is the interest of the people that you're trying to connect with. Is it something really that you really need to do, or you know, because sometimes we want to connect with people for the wrong reasons. So we have to definitely be um, very mindful, quote unquote. Um, that's a word, mindful, to make sure that we're not wanting to connect with people for all the wrong reasons. Meditation, mindfulness techniques. Let's see here. So, and we can go over this again. Um, I mean, we can come back to this. Let's see here. Okay. So identifying common intuitive blocks. So we're talking about overcoming blocks to intuition. Identifying common intuitive blocks is crucial. It's crucial for women of color seeking to nurture their intuition. Intuitive blocks can manifest in various forms, often stemming from societal pressures, personal fears, or cultural expectations. These blocks can hinder the natural flow of the intuitive energy, making it challenging to tap into one's inner wisdom. Understanding these barriers is the first step toward overcoming them and embracing one's intuitive abilities fully. One prevalent intuitive block, is the fear of judgment. Oh, yes, I know what that is. And I know you guys like, golly, she always giving her example of what she went through. It wasn't necessarily what I went through. When I realized that I could read, it took me a long time to actually do something about it. But let me tell you what happened. I had friends who encouraged me to say, just do it. That was a year ago. Yeah, 2 years. This year would be 2 years that I've been doing it. Yeah. So I started reading. I started a YouTube channel and I read on my YouTube channel. And then I also have a Facebook page that I also read on that. And I start reading every other day, doing general readings every other day. And then I slowed down and I just changed over as of June 1st. I changed over to doing it once a week. I feel much better that way. I can hone in more and I can get the reading out the way I want to. I just tried a new method as of today. If anybody don't know what reading is, I'm talking about tarot reading, the cards. Um, so I switch it up again today, but it works perfectly because everything that I saw today definitely hit on point. So yeah, I'm much more happier. I'm finding ways to make what I do much more easier to do. And it took me a long time to get to that. And I can share that with you guys. It even goes along with what I do here with the information that I share with you. We are going to be an informational person. Gather. I will from time to time invite guests on, but I definitely want this to be a relationship that we build together. Okay. Very, very important. You guys, I know on my website, I just thought about something. I want to say it before I go any further. On my website, I do understand I have not updated my blogs. I haven't done a blog, I think, since February, April. I think it was February. I haven't, there's no excuse. Let me just put it like that. There's no excuse. I'm going to leave it like that. I just got to get them up there. Okay, another common block is the internet internalization. Excuse me. Oh, let me see. I'm sorry. So, one prevalent intuitive block is the fear of judgment. Many young women of color grow up in environments where expressing their feelings or beliefs can lead to scrutiny or disapproval. This fear can create a barrier that stifles intuitive insights. That's right. An individual may second guess their thoughts or feelings. Recognizing that intuition is a personal and subjective experience can empower women to trust their instincts without the weight of external opinions. So once you build it up, it's yours. You build it up, you feel good about yourself. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. And that's where, you come from one end to another, getting to that point. Another common block is the internalization of cultural narratives. Some cultures may prioritize logic and rationality over intuition, leading individuals to dismiss their intuitive feelings as merely fantasy or ungrounded thinking. Again, everything has to have a proof to it. Okay, so because sometimes our intuition is not set up that way. That's not how it's built. That's not how it's created. It's on a whole nother, it's a subconsciousness. So because of that, some people say, okay, I need to see facts. And really the facts are who you are and what you're explaining to them. This internal conflict can create confusion and frustration. By acknowledging and challenging these narratives, women can begin to reclaim their intuitive voices and validate their experiences as legitimate and meaningful. Self doubt is also a significant barrier to assessing intuition. Many young women of color may struggle with feeling of inadequacy, or the imposter syndrome, questioning their abilities and worthiness. This self doubt can cloud intuitive perceptions, making it difficult to recognize valuable insight. Building self confidence through practices such as journaling, meditation, and affirmations can help dismantle these doubts, allowing intuition to emerge more clearly. Woo! Finally, emotional blockages is another one, such as unresolved trauma or stress can impede intuitive development. So if you have some healed or blockages, emotional, the whole nine yards, it is hard to get to that core, okay? Because you got all these things in place. So it's kind of hard for that. So this is where you work on slowly but surely getting rid of these things that should not matter, letting go all this stuff. Sometimes we hold on to stuff because it makes us feel comfortable. We're comfortable in our uncomfortability. That's what we do, right? Like it says, engaging in emotional healing practices such as therapy, support groups, that's right, or creative expression can help clear these blockages. By addressing emotional wounds, women can create a more open and receptive space for their intuition to flourish, ultimately enhancing their spiritual journey. So once you come to the point where you're not doing that anymore, you're letting go, you're moving forward, you're doing what needs to be done, all that won't matter. It won't matter anymore. It will not matter anymore. So we're going to stop right there, which is page 24 in the book. Let me make sure. Yeah. So that is page 22. Okay. So we stopped at page 22. Um, let's see here. Make a note for this. I'm sorry, I have to make a note. Okay. So I had to make a note because if I don't, I'll lose my spot. So we'll come back and we'll get deep. We'll get much more deeper into this. We'll go forward with it. Like I said, we're not going to go through the whole book, but we're going to pick up pieces out of there that can help us help other people while we're doing this. Okay. And if you have the opportunity to have this gift, let me stop sharing. If you have the opportunity to have a gift of psychic ability, I'm hoping you're taking that and you're actually helping other people that are afraid to talk about it. Um, Afraid of, I have one young lady that me and her talk very deeply about her abilities and what she knows how to do. And we help each other because I learn stuff from her as well as she learns it from me. um, and it's a beautiful relationship, and it's so much, and it's actually a collective, male and female, actually a collective group of us that can do that. Okay. um, and it's wonderful, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Okay. Nothing at all to be ashamed of, to have those abilities, but enhancing those abilities, and how do you enhance them, is everything that we've talked about tonight. Okay. Understanding who you are in the process, knowing how to meditate, how to pray, how to be mindful. Okay. Knowing to connect with the right people, because your intuition will tell you the right people to connect with. Because some people feel intimidated by all the things that you can do. Okay. Like you said, like they were talking about cultural barriers, rituals, things that, societal. I think it's more societal than anything, because you cannot tell everybody you know how to do certain things. You just can't. I'm telling you, you can't, because people don't understand it and they feel intimidated by it, right? So you have to look at it from that standpoint. You don't want them to feel, out of place, but you do want them to understand that, you can't change who you are. What you do is who you are, and what you do is everything that you are. Okay. And sometimes people don't jive very well with it, but that's not your fault. Okay. That is not your fault. That is not your situation. That's on them. So definitely keep that in mind. All right. So this is what I'm going to do. We're going to start on page 22 and come back. Next week, we're going to continue with this. Hopefully, it won't take us a whole month. It won't take a whole month to get through this. We're going to get through as much as we can. I want to say thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for this great opportunity so far. This has been a wonderful journey, and I'm going to continue. Hopefully, everything works out. I can stay doing this work, teaching you guys this, leaving this information with you. So we will be back again with Sisterhood. Okay, the spiritual sisterhood. Okay. So you guys have a great evening, and bye-bye. Ta-da! I guess it doesn't want me to end. Oh, you know why?